Alright. So, to do a brief tutorial on the mortal shell healing mechanics, because a lot of community has given feedback that they want an Estus-like system because they believe there's not enough healing in the game as it is. So we're going to talk about the healing, some things that you can do, some things people might not know about, and why I don't believe there should be an Estus type system in the game. So first off, we'll start with shells here. Alrighty. And the first shell, you can unlock an ability. Picking up glimpse has a chance to restore some health. So if you pick it up from an enemy or if you pop the consumable glimpse from your inventory, there's a chance of it healing your character, and you get quite a bit of glimpse that way. So you can turn a glimpse's consumable item into a healing item, and it does chunks of health rather than a slow duration. You can also combine that with for a short time after hardening. Enemies killed have a chance to drop an additional glimpse. So that stacks up very nicely. Moving on to the second shell. Alrighty. This shell, taking poison damage heals Teal for the portion of the damage which would have been dealt. So instead of taking damage, you heal slowly over duration. You can combine that with empowered repost. Teal will sometimes release a poisonous cloud. That cloud will poison you, and you will heal slowly. You can also combine that with Teal gains a 20% chance to lose stamina instead of health on taking damage. So now you've also reduced the damage incoming whilst offering ways to heal. Pretty fantastic, right? Beyond this, if you parry and riposte an enemy, you can also heal yourself, and your repost item actually levels up. So that'll fill your health bar back up nicely. We'll just do this one more time here. You do have to have resolve, though, so keep that in mind. Do I have any more of those consumables, by the way? No. Okay, that's fine. So as you can see right there, not only did we fill ourselves back up with health from the repost gain, but we got the poison cloud as well. So now we have long-term healing we can utilize for a period of time and take more damage and continue to heal through it. Pretty fantastic. And again, this repost potential levels up, so you gain more health as it levels up throughout the game. Now let's talk about some other healing capabilities. So consumables. So here we have a mortal token. So what this does is, on the next time I use harden and take impact damage while I'm in hardened state, I will gain health for the amount of damage that kind of came in. So to demonstrate that, let's go ahead and take some damage here. Okay. Toggle to the item. Pop the item here. Alright. So as you can see, I'm back at full health now. Pretty fantastic, right? So that's another option to gaining large chunks of health, depending on how much damage actually came in that you guarded with the hardened form. Alrighty. What's next? So there's also duration heals, such as the mushroom and the roasted rat, and there's also the boiled frog. Now these are duration heals, and they get better with familiarity, but they aren't stackable. So that's a little bit of a downside there. If you replace with another one, it will remove the existing one that's on. If you use the same one again, it will replace the timer with a new version of it. So the timer is effectively reset, but you cannot stack them to get both effects at the same time. What is cool, though, is with this particular shell, the poison effect that heals you, since it's considered damage being converted to heal, you can stack a duration-based heal with it, so you'll be healing from the poison-based healing as well as the consumable healing at the same time, which is pretty awesome. Beyond that, there's also various chunk-based consumables you can get, and again, they get better with familiarity, such as the baguette, so you can use those to give yourself a chunk of HP back. And there's various items like that in the game. There's also more items like that beyond what's in the demo. So that's pretty fantastic. Also, with this particular shell, if you use this mushroom here, when you first use it, it poisons you until you build up familiarity where you get poison resistance. So right now I could actually strategically use this particular item to poison myself, and now I have healing for a duration of time. Check that shit out. It's pretty fantastic. What else can we do? So we've talked about the repost. We've talked about these various healing items, consumables, duration, chunk HPs. The fact that if I have the other shell, I can pop these particular glimpses until it does trigger that RNG heal potential. And it usually takes around 3 usage, 2 to 3. It's pretty acceptable rate, and it heals for substantial chunks of your health. So 2 of those, couple of those, you'll be back at full health from low health. Now let's talk about what I would say is one of the most OP healing potentials, the Tainted Nectar. So what this does, it knocks you out of your current shell. All right, and people are like, well, why would I want to be knocked out of my own shell? Well, when you get knocked out of your shell by an enemy, you lose that additional knock out of your shell potential, or like second kind of life right there. So you can see that little white dot to the left of my health bar. If I choose to get knocked out of my shell with the nectar, I will get that back when I recover the shell because it stays with the shell. And what's great about that is, say, I find an enemy such as, let's see, who did I not kill? These guys are all dead, right? Yeah, so we'll say this guy over here, right? We'll go grab this guy right over here, all right? Here's this guy. So he's going to hit me a few times here. All right. So say you're like 1 hit away from death, and you don't want to waste your shell. You want to keep that additional life, right? Well, let's look at just how OP this particular item actually is. We're going to boot ourselves out of our shell at half health. Okay. And then we're going to recover. And we're now at full health again. So you can use this as many times as you want, given that you have that particular item. So if I was literally 1 hit away from death, I could pop that item, hop back in my shell, and be at full health again. Pretty substantial, right? So then we also have the opportunity to just be naturally knocked out of our shell from the enemy, and we'll lose that white dot right there. We didn't take damage there because of the stamina benefit there. Alrighty. So now we can go ahead and hop back in our shell. And as you can see, the white dot is now gone because we were knocked out by an enemy rather than ourselves. But I still can use this particular item to knock myself out again and grab it back. I just won't gain the additional knockout from an enemy. Now, let's say you died at a struggling point in the game, and you left some tar that you can pick up. So as you can see, my other character right there, that's my shell from my previous death that had some tar on it to recover. So it'll leave a hard shell, which you can scoop up. And when you scoop that up, it will also fill you back to full health. So if you look at it like this, even with no consumable items and no reposts, you have your primary health bar, your second health bar for when you're knocked out of there, and then the pickup if you died in that area before being a third health bar. 3 full health bars without using a single item. Then you can add into your reposts. You can add into your knockouts of your shell. If I can do it again to show you here. You can, knock myself out and scoop it back up to be back at full health. Okay. Things like that. So with that particular item, we can stack up multiple health. Then we can stack up these hardening ones to regain a full health bar if an enemy hits heavy. On time of slow duration heals and chunk-based HP recovery. So again, let's go in here for a second. We'll grab one of these guys. Bring him right over here. Okay. Then we can go ahead and recover and go back to full health. So the amount of potential health bars you actually have is pretty absurd. So if we were to add Estus into this game, if you actually strategically combined items, you pretty much would never die. And that'd kind of defeat the purpose, wouldn't it? So there's a nice chunk one right there. And let's pop another one. And again, this is without even having familiarity up. Now that it's up, the amount of healing I'm going to gain is going to be substantially more. Pretty good chunk, right? So all in all, you can see the amount of abuse we just took. Still not even using all my items or strategically getting away to heal before I was actually killed. So that will sum up our general tutorial on healing potential in Mortal Shell.